lot coming in.
Yeah, there's a few people joining there now. We'll just wait for a minute or two while everybody logs in. There's a lot of people logging on there now. They're just coming up.
If anyone wants to say anything in the chat to say that you can or cannot hear us, or you only see our lips moving, let us know.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a good few coming on there now. Yeah, they're replying, yeah, saying they can hear. Yeah, everybody can hear okay.
Right.
That's great. I'd like to welcome you all this afternoon to our webinar, and I'd like to introduce you. A lot of you will have seen Aidan's videos before, but Aidan Geraghty from VideoTree, who's going to present a webinar this afternoon on editing video for your smartphone. So I'll hand you over there now to Aidan. You can work away there, Aidan. If anybody has any questions, or if they'd like to say anything as we go along, we'll have a Q&A session at the end. And there's a Q&A button at the bottom, or a chat button if you'd like to put your questions in there, and we'll deal with them at the end. Okay, thanks, Aidan.
Good stuff. Thanks, Mary. There's a few names I know coming in there. So we'll just give it another minute, but while we're on it there, when we're doing an intro, does anybody just first of all throw up a message to see if you have any experience in editing or not? I'd be interested to see if you've used an app or you've put out some editing so far, or you've made a stab at it at least. None help, someone says. Yeah, very basic, okay. Any movie, none. Someone said they're hopeless. They all are at the beginning. Okay, lots of different ones coming in. Lots of honesty as well, you know. Video shop. So I'm, you might have known, some of you have probably been here at the previous webinars, but Aidan Geraghty is my name. I run VideoTree, and I'm a video trainer. I run workshops on the ground when I can, and now I can't. So I've put a lot of online learning up on my website, and I'm delighted the Craft Council are working with me now to serve out some really good learning for their members. And I'm glad you're here. We did a couple of sessions before, and now this one is, and they were very useful, they were very popular. This one is going to be great. It's going to focus specifically on editing, and it is going to be a bit more in-depth. It's going to be more of a course than just a webinar. So it's really going to be hands-on, and take a notepad and paper if you want to take notes down, but it will be available, as far as I know, it's going to be available after for yourselves to access, as far as I know. So any questions you have at the during it or at the beginning, or just write them in the chat, and at the end of it, Mary will join myself and answer those questions. And if there is any emergencies, put your hand up and let me know. If there's things like the volume goes or something like that, then you can shout. Otherwise, put your phone down. Don't go looking at installing apps or anything when I'm talking. Just leave that for after. Keep your full attention with me, and we will get through it. So I am going to kick off now. So this is about learning how to edit using your phone. Now I run a couple of different workshops. Like one could be, one is learning how to edit using your laptop. Others are how to edit using your smartphone. And I think with businesses like yourselves, you want to learn how to edit on the go. And that's, I think, key for you, is to be able to capture activity that you're doing in your business, and then pull it onto the phone, put your branding in particular, and I'm big about that. And anybody that was here before, I've really harped on about getting your branding on your video. So editing can be as simple as putting your branding on it every time you post out, to cutting and chopping up stuff and doing something with creative, with music, with graphics and that. So we kind of touch on the basic to the more advanced. Today will be the more basic. It's going to be the level 1 editing, and in fact a lot of it is the hardest part really, because it's bringing in the footage and chopping it up and cutting out all the crap. That's the really time consuming part. I'm going to have a little demo video which we'll pull in some footage of. B-rolls, then you may not know what they mean at the moment, but you will by the end of today. And just things like taking freeze frames. You can take really nice photos from working within the app with your footage. The goals really for it is that you can go away and you can have a more flexible way of shooting, because you might look up instructions online about how to edit for different apps, but they're more about technical functions of it. Whereas I want to give you a more all-round view of because I know how to shoot and I teach how to shoot, I understand what's in your minds when you come to edit. But bear in mind that when you learn how to edit, you'll be able to go out and have a more creative mind when it comes to shooting. So some questions that I've been asked are, you know, is it good to shoot up close or to shoot from different angles? And these are questions that you may have not really known the answer to before you learned how to edit. But now after the editing, you will go away and you'll be the one thinking that, okay, I need to shoot in this angle, I need to shoot up close, I can do, and you'll be thinking in editing then what you're going to do to play with that. So really gives you a better understanding on how to shoot as well. Everything will be more engaging when you publish, and the key thing is to become efficient at this as well, and not to get too stuck in and doing it for art's sake. Just do it. It's something that you want to develop engagement on and business from it. You're not here to be an artist. You have your own art that you need to work on. You're not looking to be an editor. Repurpose videos then is a really big one, because when you have a bunch of footage on your phone and you want to go back and reinvent it, re-chop it, or maybe at the end of the year you might want to, say, get your footage from maybe your key events that you went to, that you're exhibiting at or selling at, or different activities, success stories. You can stick them all together then at a video at the end of the year on Christmas Day when you're doing nothing. And then you can publish better content, and that's really what we're about. There's a sea of videos out there on Instagram and the likes, but you want to step above that. Brand exposure you'll get because of the logos and that, and your visuals and your name and your intro and your outro. Viewers can watch with the sound off, because I'm going to show you how to do subtitles. More information quicker, because when you learn how to edit, you chop out all the crap out and you stick it all together, only the relevant stuff. You generate a more emotional connection with a bit of music, and you can play around with it more to kind of create a nice story in something short and simple. And I was saying before about having a start, middle and end, and that's really what you're looking to do when you edit. More engagement, and then you can add special effects. I'll touch up special effects. I'm not obsessed about them. We'll do some special effects. You're wasting your time going into too many effects. Bear in mind that when you do no editing, you can film and publish straight away. When you do edit, you do have another couple of steps. You will have to put a bit of a plan in place in terms of storyboarding in some cases, but you will need to think more about before you shoot, and because you'll need to line up that footage after and then edit before you publish. So there is more steps. So be mindful that every time you want to put in a video up, you don't want to invest too much time editing. So you really need to be thinking, okay, how can I get a few little hacks like that will help me get what I want changed on the video, my branding and that, and throw it out really quickly. So I'm here to kind of go between the no editing and the with editing, if that makes sense. I'm touching off this before we get into editing. I'm going to mirror my app on the screen in a moment, and we'll edit a live demo. Before we get into it, just to understand again the aspect ratios is really important. When you film straight up in that portrait mode, you cannot edit something on a landscape mode where you've got a nice wide video. You're in trouble if you don't do it right from the start. So please, if you have any inkling at all that you want to go and edit and learn how to edit, start shooting in landscape mode more. If you wanted to post something directly to Instagram, yes, you can shoot in portrait mode. But you really need to be mindful that if you want to do any editing, you need to be shooting in landscape mode, and that is your phone sideways. Why 16:9, which is landscape mode? There are settings in your phone, look out for those. They're fairly obvious in a lot of phones, but you might never think of them because we all just pick it up and use the settings that are default. So go in, you can shoot in square mode if you want to publish to Instagram, or you can shoot in 16:9. But 16:9 also works on Instagram. So just let's hone in on 16:9 today, and that is the landscape mode. KineMaster is the app we're going to use. It's $5 a month for the pro version. It's free if you want to have that big sticker all over the video when you post. So they really do trap you into it. So like any app really. So it's worth $5 a month in my view. There are other apps out there, endless amounts of them. But I've picked out KineMaster, and I've been using this for the last year at my workshops. It goes down really well with people in that they're able to adjust to it. It's got lots of settings and features, but at the same time, it doesn't overwhelm you. By the end of our course, you will be able to make your mind up whether you want to buy that or at least download the trial version. My advice would be after today, go away, download it, maybe mess around it with some video clips, and then we'll come back for the next chunk. You'll kind of have an idea of how it works in your mind, but you'll also be able to decide long term whether you want to do another app or not. But really, I would try to focus on upskilling your editing ability using a app. This app is really good for it. It doesn't matter if you don't stick with that app later. You're learning the functions of editing. So the principles of editing, I should say. Well done. Well, it's not over yet. That was supposed to be the last slide, because now we're going to go to now to mirror my screen. That's my presentation over with. We're going to get straight into the practical part. I want to show you one of my attendees for this course last week. He learned how to do a video straight after. He said to me, he said, look, I was delighted. It was simple. It was not simple, but it was explained fairly simply, and I'm delighted with the outcome. So he went away and he made a video like this. Now, you will be able to do the same thing as him. The borders above and below, we will touch off that in the next session. That's a Canva effect, and that squares your video. So you can see that it's a 16:9 video, but it's squared off by using Canva. It's a really nice trick. A lot of people don't know that Canva and video go together really well. So bringing in your video, after you edit on KineMaster together, bringing it into Canva and adding really nice graphics below and above it. We will look at that the next day. And the subtitles come in there as well. There's an app for doing subtitles. And you can see as well, he's putting good practice into what I would have been teaching on as well, and that is framing your video where the background is relevant and you're making use of it with your logo on that. So yeah, I was delighted because it's great to see somebody putting it to use, and he was absolutely delighted. So there's nothing showing on it. Sorry, Katie said that there's nothing showing on her screen. Is everybody else able to see the mirror of the phone here? Can people see this, what's coming up? Just type in, you can see it, okay. Katie, is it working for you now, is it? Okay. Perfect. Okay, great. I don't know what was happening there, but lovely. Right, we're going to kick off, okay? So KineMaster is installed. We're going to go and we're going to open a project on KineMaster. Now, some people call it KineMaster. I don't know what it is. KineMaster, I call it. So we're at the point here now where we've got to choose a project. On the right-hand side, you can see that there's lots of different previous projects stored there. And you can go in and you can open up one of those if you wanted to and re-edit it a bit. But I am looking to create a new project. So how do you do that? Well, you go to the big button. This is to open up a new project. In the middle, you can see it there. And just where my arrow is. So we're opening. Now we're at the point where we have to choose the aspect ratio. And this goes back to what I mentioned in the previous slide. This means we have to choose whether we want it in portrait mode or in a square mode or 16:9. Just trust me on this. The 16:9 is your best go-to mode, at least for the time being, unless trends change and that. Because as I say, you'll edit in 16:9, but we can finish it off in Canva sometimes as well, and that's square it up if you want. That's a really nice effect. So we're going to go 16:9 in this case. Now I've shot all my footage in 16:9, thankfully. Now we're at the point where we choose to pull in the media. So we're looking at all these functions. Up here where it says media, we're going to click on that and we're going to pull in media. Now here's one. I have a folder of footage here from Showcase this year, and I'm going to pull this in. We're going to do a little cut of the activity at Showcase. Again, it's not really important about what I'm editing. I'm not going to like export a very clean finished video here. What I'm trying to do is show the functions that I use on the footage that I'm bringing in. But I just thought I'd bring in the showcases, everybody knows it. So in order to get each of these pulled in, you need to click from on each one and tap, 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 tap them all. So if you have loads of footage on your phone, you just need to tap them all and bring them in. Now, at this point, you'll see that there is loads coming up on what is called the timeline. Up here, you see the little tick mark. Tick that, when you're ready to go back into your software. Now, you'll see that there is lots there that we need to go through, and we need to bring this down to about, like, let's just say a minute of a video, typically. So we have a lot to do there. Now, you see the way that's moving and it's squeezing inwards. What I'm doing there is I'm just pawing it with my hand in the timeline so that when I scroll, the clips play much quicker. So you've got one clip here, you can see it. Then you've got another clip, and that goes on for another bit. And then you've got loads of little clips here, you see them? You've got this clip, so you've loads of little clips. Now, I also have a little intro there. So now we're at the case of the timeline, right? And at the timeline, we have the logo, some logos here, which we will use later. We've got, you know, a shot like this and above, and you can see where I put my little mouse here. You'll see that at the moment, I'm touching it here where I can just paw along it and scroll through the footage. Nice and quick. Don't spend too much time going through it. There is, if you wanted to press play and manually sit back, and instead of play, there's a play button over here. That's the play button. And you can press that. Now you'll see that all the raw footage is here, so you'll see a lot of stupid shots there, and you'll probably hear me talking in the background. So that is a slow way of getting through your footage, and you don't want that. You want to be able to go through it kind of quickly, and you get this instinct after where you go, right, I know from filming that I wanted a shot right here. That was the shot that I wanted. And then you go, right, I'll come back to that in a moment. So you're just going through it, and you're initially not taking a clip of the reef. You're initially thinking about where you're going to be in terms of the best shots that you're going to get later in the project. You know, you're going through here, and there's already stuff that I know that I'm going to delete, but that doesn't matter. Bring it all in. Stop messing with it in your camera, you know, in your phone folders. Bring it in here, and then delete what you don't want. Now, my purpose here is that I'm going to have a little video that gives like an overview of the show and visiting some stands and then some wide shots. So we've gone through it. We've gone through it. Right, so there's a fair bit of stuff there, and we are where we are now. Now, just before I get stuck into cutting anything at the bottom, I will touch on the functions up here on the right-hand side. You see when I press media, media generally is where you want to instruct the app to go and fetch all the stuff that's in your phone. Now, in my case, I had stored off the showcase footage within a showcase folder I made on my phone. That's just a simple function on your phone. So I'd advise you to just get that in order, you know, throw them into folders in your phone and get things in order so that you won't go insane trying to look through it on your phone. You've got backgrounds then where you can go in and you can choose like a background. Now this is it's a media piece. So when you click on media in the app, yes, you come in here and you've got a selection where you can click background. And that is all the different backgrounds which you can add into the video later. Most of them we won't want to. Then we've got, that's it. Then we're going to go back in. Right? So we've clicked our footage that we want already. So then we come down and we see layer. and we click on layer. And when we go to layer, we see that there's a few different things, and I'll tell you what layer means first of all. You see where you've got, for example, I'll do it again. Well, no, we'll switch over after. I'm just going to point through the thing, the functions. Layer means another layer underneath your video. So, for example, do you ever see those videos with the person talking? And then you also see this shot behind the scenes when that person is talking. So we'll do that later, but that's called a layer. So you've got, maybe if I was talking and let's say at the same time you weren't looking at me, you had like a video off the background of my living room coming up. That's another layer of video. So it's a video on a video, you know, so I'm still talking, I'm still doing my thing, but then smacked in my face, there's another layer of video. You'll see that on a lot of news programs and that. You'll see that the reporter's talking and you'll see that the camera just pans away to like the doll or whatever it is when they're reporting. It just makes the video more engaging. I will touch on that. Effect, loads of effects. We'll go to that. Overlay, again, we'll touch on that the second day. Text is text on screen. So any text that you want to put out on the screen, we go in there and that's where we choose the type of text that we want. That could be for your name, you know, that comes up, your name and title, or it could be text at the end or start of the video. And then voice, we won't use that, but that's where you can record your own voice into it. So if it's an overview, I always laugh like at Bear Grylls when he's doing that TV show and he's got these pictures of him eating berries and living in trees, and he's got a voiceover then of him narrating on that. But you can see that he's narrating on it in post-production because he's edited all the footage, he stuck it all together, and then you just know that he's talking about, you know, if I die here, I could be in big trouble. And you know in the voiceover that he's at home and he's putting this voiceover in to his edit. So that's what you could do in this scenario. You could go out and shoot your footage. Maybe if it's you in the filming the product in the making, you could have the footage of the product being made, and then you might want to sit down afterwards and you might want to just record a voiceover of the intricate steps that you've taken of making that product. Really, it's not a great suggestion because people like that authentic live overview on video. So if you're in your studio, really what you want is you explaining it on video. So it doesn't work that well. But it's a facility if you ever wanted to use it. Then audio, important one. There's loads of tunes in here that we can pick. Loads of them. We'll come to that after. And then this is the play button. I touched off that already, but when you press play, that's your go-to button. And then over on the left, I'm not going to press on it, but you see this here? That's your share button. That's when you're finished the video. You can export the video, and that's when you're going to use it. This button here will take a freeze frame of this, of where you are at in the timeline. So it could be that. And you go over and you click freeze frame. Every time you tap it, you get an image. And you can export that image. It's really nice. And then this is the important one. If you're new to it, the undo button. We all make mistakes on it. So thankfully you can undo anything you want. And we're going to get now to the footage at the bottom. I'll just, if anybody has really burning questions there that something wasn't explained right, I'm just going to address them now because Someone had said, can you layer text on video using this? Yes, I touched on layers then, and within layers there is the text function. So yes, you can slap the text on that. We will get to that. Yeah, okay, Mary's dealing with some of them, that's great.
Aidan, there's a question there just about, does it work on the iPad as well as your iPhone?
The iPad, that's a good question. I think it does, yeah, because it's in the App Store. And it also works on Android. So anybody that has an Android phone or an iPhone, it works on both. And it should work on your iPad as well, yeah. But I'll double check, but as far as I know, it does, yeah. It doesn't work on a laptop. It's not on your laptop. Yeah, iOS should be fine. So different videos into the software. What is the Canva again? I'll touch on that the next day, Valerie, right? We'll get to that. The button under the export, that is, I'll just show you that's just kind of project settings, which I really don't want to go near that much. It's just overall settings. So we can touch off that later, but it's not really an important one for now. Super. Okay, I'll keep going with this. Anybody, Mary, that has a burning question, if I'm going wrong, you can shout out to me anyway, you're there. So we'll be using these settings as we go. So I've just pointed them out, but we will be getting through these settings. And just ignore me for a moment. Oh, by the way, that's your bin. So if you have something you dragged in, you don't want to use it, just bin it, and I'll explain why later. Right, now this is the footage is all in a mess, right? It's all jumbled up. You know, later on you might decide that I want the first clip on the timeline here, it needs to be the last clip on the final video. That may well be, but my advice is, firstly, don't worry about where it's going to go in the video. Just worry about going through each clip and cutting it down, cutting out all the crap each side that you don't want, trimming it, and then go, right, see what I have. It's a lot shorter than it was. It could be 20 minutes down to like 2-3 minutes. And that's what you're looking to do. So you're looking to bring your raw footage, the big files, all the way down to, 2-3 minutes. And then later you will refine it more and more and more. So don't worry about putting it in a certain order at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to expand on this a bit now. Now, I've been through this footage before, and I'm not going to dwell too long on all the clips because it's repetitive after you do it a couple of times. But I am going to go through a few, and I'll explain the reasons why I'm doing what on each one. So I took a little overview. There's going to be, if you're doing a video, like an overview of your business or your studio or your office, you'll always, have certain shots that go into each video. One could be like an entrance into your office or studio. The other could be like a wide overview shot. It's called an establisher. But you'll always see that in business videos where you've got this big pan overview video, overview, wide shot. And it kind of pans across and it gives people an idea then of what they're looking at in a business. It's always good to start with that. Now, I'm looking at the clip here from the stairs. Now, the clip is 1, 2, 3, it's with 4 seconds. That's way too long, I know that. But I'm going to press play when I get on it and just see what I have and where it's rocky and where I can maybe cut it off. You can see the railing is there. I'm not taking the railing in. Okay, that's probably the best part there. And then it gets railing-y again. That's not bad there. Right, so there's a lot of nice stuff there. I mean, you could scroll on and you can go, right, maybe there is something, maybe there is something. And none of that is relevant. None of that. So I know now I'm going to go back to where I was, and I'm going to go, right, I'll probably, and you select on the clip. This is really important. You get your thumb or your finger and you tap down on the clip until it's yellow, and then that says to the app that, right, you want to manipulate that actual clip. It's really important. So now you've selected it, and you have the scissors on the top right. You see the scissors here. So you're going to chop it up. You click on the scissors, and what do you have? So you've got, and you'll find this in any app that you're working on, you've got trim to the left of playhead, which means everything on the left is thrown out. Trim to the right, everything on the right is thrown out. Split means you just chop it in two. You don't throw anything out. And forget about the last one. So this is really the one you want. Sorry, these first three are the ones you want. So what we're going to do, well, we know that the first part is crap anyway. We're going to just throw that out. That's trim to the left of the playhead. Done. Right, now we're looking at shorter video. Again, it gets a bit rocky again, so we kind of come along. Where was I? I thought I had that clip there that I wanted. Hang on. Yeah, so that part there, that's all I want. So I only want a bit. Now I'm going to go again, and I'm going to trim to the right of the playhead. Playhead is your little red bar. That is where all the action happens. So trim to the right of playhead this time. Huh? Great. So now you're left with a clip, more or less the clip that you will want, you think that you will want. It's good stuff there. So you press play. You kind of have to scroll in as an bit of an exact sign. So you can see the camera's going up and across, but really you just want it going across. You trim to the left and you throw out that. So we're really short now. We've got about 2 seconds. Now we go like that, and you press play again to just preview it. By the way, that's a bit choppy, I think, on your screen. It's just with Zoom and how you're trying to go from my screen on my phone to the laptop screen to the Zoom screen and out again. So ignore the fact that it's choppy. It's fairly smooth in real life. Right, so you see that's enough now really as a clip. You want to be making videos that don't dwell on each clip if you have lots of clips. So you want to get loads of little clips when you're filming and chop them up and put them into short clips and only use the relevant stuff. So you'll understand now from a filming point of view that you'll know that, well, look, I mean, I must have spent a couple of minutes trying to get that shot right. I would have taken a few other clips. I spent a couple of minutes trying to get that shot that I wanted. And, you know, there could be people in your way, there could be signs in your way, and you might have to move to a different position. And if that's what it takes, do it. But it's great then, at the end of it, you've got your clip that you want. Move on to the next clip. So what have we got here? Well, that looks a bit silly, really. It's the same stuff. Yeah, it's kind of repetition. We don't need it. I mean, you have a huge clip there where you've got Jesus. It goes right around, down, down. Don't want that. Is there anything in that? No offense to any businesses here, but like I'm just saying for the purpose of the video that I want. It's not relevant upstairs. I just wanted to get a shot off the balcony. And that was the purpose. So we've got lots of lovely stands, but it's not the purpose of what I want there. You need to be defining what you wanted. What I wanted was a balcony shot, and I get up there and I got it and I was happy. And now you see the dump, when you tap down on the clip, you can see the bin icon on the left. You tap that once and you've got your clip is going into the bin. Gone. Now to undo it and bring it back out, you can press the undo button. So don't panic if it's gone. Now we're in another clip, and I'll bring it to this one. I really like this clip. So I spent a while trying to get the ideal shot, and I got a lovely shot at the end of it. But it took a while because I was trying to direct the person to give me that shot or to work with me with the camera. So you really need to know how to direct, I suppose, or you get good at this. But you'll look and you'll be filming somebody now at work, and you go, well, look, you know, in your head, you're like, I just want that shot that is 2-3 seconds long for a video that I'm editing. You'll know what you need. And I knew what I wanted with this lady here when I was asking her to do things. And it was, I wanted her to start folding the toes, bringing the toes out. I knew that there was a certain type of shot that I wanted so that I could use it for an edit. And, you know, there's lots of nice ones, nice tips, but there's a certain one, because I'm doing like multiple stands, I really wanted just the shot that I wanted. And that is a nice one there. It was this one. So this one, not particularly. Really understand what's relevant in your video. This one's really nice because, you know, you've got the human element of it. The products aren't just sitting there, and you've got her demonstrating the product to some extent because you can see the look and feel of the product when it's moving. And so I know straight away that all the other stuff to the left, it's not crap. It might be something I'll use later. And if that's the case, I can go into my library on my phone and I can bring it into another project, if you understand. So, you know, this on its own is a video of the business itself, you know. There's a lot in this. But I'm going to go straight to the point here and go, right, where is the clip we're looking for? Okay, now. Yeah. So we're going to come back here. We kind of know that we're going to tap trim to the left again, scissors, trim to the left. Right, bit of a headache gone now because I've loads of stuff removed. So now press play. I actually find the website for it. So if you look and you go, okay, that's not relevant. What is relevant is this part here. That. Trim to the right. And by the way, when we're on that, how do you delete the audio from each clip? Which you will, that'll be the background talking and the noise. This is how you do it. So you tap on the clip again. It's always tapping on the clip when you want to do some work with that clip. And when you do that, you see the little microphone or whatever you call it, speaker. You select on that, and then you've got the audio functions. This audio here, this scales the level of sound, level of audio. Tap on this, and you'll see it's gone. So there's no audio allowed on that. And now you can play this. And be very careful when you're exporting videos that you don't leave the background sound on of you talking really, you know, talking mad stuff that is not going to help you sell products. So let's see what we have again. So you can see now I've kind of made my mind up. I had a look at it and I said, right, there's a type of part there that was kind of nice, that bit of movement in it. It was really from there. So if I just trim to the right, it's really what I want there now, that kind of stuff, right? So that's that clip. Now, we'll move on. That's very specific what I've got there. And I know that now in my video I have another element of it. And that is, you know, a stand where clothing kind of factor that in is a nice clip. Really nice. So you move on and you go through the other clips. Come across. Again, lots of nice stuff there. A lot of rocky stuff. So you'll know, like, don't panic, even myself in it. Don't panic when you're filming. Don't think that at the very first moment that needs to be what you use in the final video. You don't have to worry about that anymore if you're editing. You can start off and you could be doing anything. You could be cleaning the screen and the camera. You could be doing anything. Press record and let it flow. And when you believe that you're getting to the right clip, again, you'll know you're getting there. And I didn't know I was getting there for a long time. I must have went around. I got distracted as well, just making an excuse now. There's a nice one there as a wide shot. So I know straight away I'm going to trim that out, right? If you go press play, now I know it's not a good shot because it's rocking. I know that's crap. I don't want to be taking videos of roofs. Now where am I? Right, so I'm struggling to get a good shot from that. I'm kind of cutting through loads of different things. Yeah, okay, what have I got here? So press play. Okay, so I'm struggling to get something from that clip at all. So I will probably delete it and get rid of it. Right, so that's the nature of editing. You bring in a clip, you find out whether it's any good or not, and you may need to absolutely dump it. So that's what I've done in that case. Have I even dumped the right one? One moment, please. Okay, so I had this. I know that that's not good to me, so I'm dumping that. I don't get why that's still in there. That's not twice. Right, it's gone now anyway, right? So you go through them and you find something great. If you don't, you don't. You can see there's a nice little shot there. Now I'm going to show you how quick you can do this after you get practice. I'm going to go trim to the left. I'm going to cut. I'm going to split this time. I'm not going to, and I'll show you why. I'm going to split that because I really liked what was here. Right, I've isolated that clip. I've gone like that. And that's a really nice clip, just that alone, and I'm just dragging that back. So Great, I've got a clip there. What else do I like about this stand? Is there anything I like or that's relevant for the video? Not really, but I would like to get the wide shot of the branding. So I'm kind of going, okay, there's not a nice shot. There's a nice, that's a really nice shot, right? So I've come around and I know well that I can trim to the left, because it's a new clip. And this is really good for many reasons, which I won't even, there, that's a lovely clip, and I trim to the right. So the reason I like it anyway is that the brand is in it. You're dropping in the brand name. You've got people doing business. It looks busy. And you've got some nice wide visuals. I mean, that banner is fantastic. So, and, you know, you've got your close-ups of your products here. So you don't have to worry about that. You've got a nice little clip. So that's what you need to be thinking of when you're sticking together your edits, is that really read into the end video. What are you thinking that you want to achieve at the end of it? Have you got the visuals that you want with your clips? You'll think about it on the way through, and you might say halfway through the edit, you might go, well, look, I'm sorted now. I'm actually happy with all I have. And great, you're sorted. And that cuts a lot of work short. In this case, you know, again, scrolling through it, let's go here. Again, try out what's there. Trim, play, nice clip, cut, split, done. There, I kind of like that better maybe. And then go here. That's nice. I'll split that, split. And then I start from about there. Now, here's another option for you, right? I will start with the scissors first. But there is another way of condensing the clip or trimming it. And that is when you grab this yellow part here on the left, you grab that with your finger and you pull it in manually. And you can pull it in, pull it in, pull it in, and you kind of see where you want to go with it. There, right? So now you've isolated it, you've trimmed it with your finger by hovering over the yellow, and that works. Now just that way or the other way, I would start with the scissors first and just get the grips with, no pun intended, but get the grips with the scissors. You know, I'm going to go, that's actually a really nice clip because you've got your branding, and I'm big into putting in the brand name. That's a beautiful clip there. So I want to just go right. I've got that. Trim to the left. All I need is to play now. Move down. There. Cut. Trim to the right. I know as well that the other piece that I got, not really mad about that anymore. So you dump that. So straight away. So don't be put off at the beginning thinking that you're going to get overwhelmed with this and editing is going to take so much time. You will get really fast at it. You know, so you'll fly it. And you know your business better than anybody. And you know what to get. Now again, I'll just do one more clip. To the left. I kind of know when the camera is in position. I know there's a nice shot going up there. There, that's a nice clip. I'm going to drag it. I know when the camera is static, and I'll get it there, and I'll just maybe trim to the right, done. Next clip. What am I doing here? The reason I like this is that there's some nice activity, there's camera movement, the brand is on the bottom. You can see there that the green angel is there in the shot. Two of them looking all successful and engaging. There's a nice demo table there, which is really interesting to look at. And they're actually doing something with it. So, and that's a really nice clip. So that's really nice. So I'm going to trim that, and I'm going to use that. And that one is nice too, and you might want to come back and go, you like that one. But what I do like is the camera movement on the other one. So I'm just going to go, right, you can overthink it, you can spend a day, but you just go, right, you know what, perfect. This is another one, I think it's an arm 1 mil, I'm not sure, but anyway, we've done. This one, really nice shot. Again, oh, it's Ireland's eye, sorry. But let's just say we dumped that because we have wool already. JMH, there's a photo op there at that. So we'll just cut that and we'll play again. And we go, right, shot, perfect. And then I'm going to drag that back, done. That's how quick you'll do it, guys, after a while. So don't, now here's an example of what happens when you do shoot in portrait mode. So I did this just for an example. This is what happens, and you know this, I'm sure now, that you see videos online with the black sides. That's what happens if you shoot on black. Now this is what will happen if you shoot in landscape. That's the difference. Same stand, just a different way I held the phone, held it that way. So straight away, right off. And landscape anyway, you take more in, you know. So perfect, I can see that shot, nice. Camera's not shaking, done, next. Hannah hats. Okay, we're gonna come back to that after, I'll tell you why. So we are now, we're looking at a nice wide shot, which we haven't really got. And that starts here. Probably not the busiest time on the floor, but look, it's fine. And you have to be conscious of that. Conscious of what the clips mean to the end result. Are they not just good whether the camera is still or not, but really be thinking about how is this going to reflect best in your business. And this is what I mean about editing gives you the opportunity to play tricks. It's because you can see the guys in Green Angel are here now, and it looks like they could have been sitting down a few minutes before that. The stand could look beautiful, all of that. But you've got the opportunity when you edit that you can keep rolling the camera, but you capture them maybe when they come to stand up and they're at that stand. So you just get that little snippet that you want to tell the world, and you use that snippet. So it's great, you know, it's a great opportunity. And I'm going to come back to that in a moment. You can see that's a waste of time. You can see that's okay. There's a beautiful clip there. Yeah, this is what looks good in terms of how busy it looks. Now, on that, this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to now do a little effect on the speed. So we're moving to kind of another area. Is there anybody that has any really, you know, big questions on that before I move away from the trimming and cutting? Let's stick to questions on that. And I'll just get on to them now.
Aidan, there's a question there.
Yeah.
Should you save a copy, like a master copy of all overall footage, so that when you edit it, you still have the original to use for another project or something?
When you pull in footage into it, it doesn't mean that the original is pulled in. It means that you've taken essentially like a copy of what's your original and you've pulled it to the project, but you'll always have the original raw footage in your original folder. So you don't need to.
Okay. And once the audio is off for a particular clip, do you have to turn the audio off for every clip, or does it do it for all clips?
Yeah, you can turn it, turn it off individually for each clip, or you can finish your video. Yeah, each clip really. But you'll get it fast. You go like this.
For each clip, you have to do it.
Yeah, so it's gone already. So it doesn't really take long once you move quickly. So.
Okay. And if you disable the sound, will that affect any voiceover that you layer on top?
No, that is after. So you're doing a good thing by getting rid of what sound you have. Because what I filmed with background sound on, so it's just the hum of the whole show. But after that, when you want to record, you can start. And I'm just going to start recording myself. And I'm starting and I'm saying, yeah, I'm walking down here. I'm walking through these two people. And this guy's looking at his phone. And now I'm entering in the other room where we've got lots of clothing, and we're on the balcony. Here we are on the outside. So you're stopping, and you'll see that as I record, the audio comes in, and you've already chopped out that other background audio that you had for each clip, and you've now replaced it with a layer of your own audio. So can you hear this? It doesn't matter really.
Okay.
So the audio is then, it's very quick, so it's brought in. So to clarify that, if you're not putting up, if you're not looking to use background sound, get into the practice of just throwing it away when you get in by going into audio, delete it. And then when you want to record within the app, yes, that automatically goes in. So all I did was I moved the cursor, let's just say here, right? Got the bar, red bar here. And if I choose to go in at that point and record, it'll feed in there. There, done. Now, you can move that along afterwards, so don't worry about that. You can move it along to the desired position. Like that. Now, just on, no, we'll touch on that in a minute actually. Yeah, other questions?
Okay, can you drag one clip before another clip? Can you drag them?
We'll do that in a moment now. Just get to another clip. We're going to do that when we rearrange the footage, so we will do that in a moment. Anything about the trimming and cutting confusion so far?
Let's see now. How do you edit for YouTube videos? Is that different?
That's different. Yes, that's YouTube editor. But okay, no, I don't really get to. So the question on that's a bit. When this is edited and exported, it will go on YouTube. You can just put it up on YouTube, or you can edit within the YouTube editor app. I'll give you all that information about other apps at the end of part 2, but let's just kind of stick to this current topic here at the moment.
Okay, I think that's okay for the moment then.
I just see another one. Can you save on an external hard drive to save your phone memory? Good point. Phone memory in mine is fairly massive, and they are in a lot of phones now. There's a fair bit. In order for you to get it from your phone to your hard drive, yeah, I mean, when it's on your phone, and you should be planning to have a lot of big footage on your phone, I would put Dropbox in your phone, and then upload the footage to Dropbox, and that will then appear on your Dropbox in your laptop, so you can put it on your laptop. It's really kind of up to you, but I find that that's a good workflow for me, because when it goes from my library, when I shoot loads, I upload it to Dropbox, and it's up there whenever I want to download it to my laptop or download it to my phone again. So for example, when I was at Showcase, there was so much I shot, and then I was shooting since that. And I said, look, I don't really want too much on my phone. I don't know when I'll use this part of Showcase footage again, but I said I'd pull it in for this workshop. So I went to Dropbox, pulled it down onto my phone, and here we are. So perfect. Now we're going to get on to Helen's question on dragging the clips. So I'm just conscious now, we just kind of need to move forward. So how do you do that? So you tap down on one of the clips, and you hold down until it blinks, or until it's long enough. Like for example, you tap away now. I'm going to hold down on this clip that I'm choosing, you have to hold down the tiny little vibration or it's highlighted. You'll know anyway when you hold down on it, don't tap on it. Hold it down and you'll see that I'm pulling it into a different position. And it just floats along when I'm pulling it. And we are coming to the start. There. So it's going to slot in here and let go. So it's great, you know, you're able to change around, and I'm going to do it now. This is part of the edit. First of all, I just want to say on this part here, right, really nice thing that I did. I did a walk-in from outside, and I went through all the way. Actually did it 3 times because I got interrupted. Straight in, up as far as I could, right? Got through everybody. It was a nice, it was busy, thankfully, and it was just very nice. I mean, so anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust the speed. So you tap down on this, and you want to have a high-speed clip. Now, think of this as like a video in itself. You might just want to drag in this clip into a video, into the video editor, and you might want to do a high-speed clip of this, export, go. It's on my Instagram. I put one up. Go to speed when you tap. I'm just chatting away. Go to speed up here. Press on speed once you've tapped in your clip, and you see you've got the option to increase the speed or decrease the speed. Now, I'm increasing it 10 times. That gives me the sense of like a time-lapse kind of high-speed video. So it took me, I don't know, maybe 100 seconds to get through the floor, but I'm going to do it in 10 seconds by having it 10 times faster. So press OK. Now this is a nice little effect. I'm throwing that out. This might come across difficult to view with the choppiness, but I'll play it anyway. Kind of get the idea. It's nice and smooth in real life. So that's a really nice little kickoff on the video. That I know is going to be the start of the video. So we'll go here. So I'm showing you here now to adjust the speed and also to get the video kicked off, and we're moving it around a bit. So, and again, I'm not going to dwell too much on what I think suits where. I just want to show you the function. I don't want to show you that one of two of them going home, definitely. Better going in than out. So you're going, so now you look like you're going in upstairs, and you're going from the outside in. It's going in. Everybody looks like they're engaged and they're going in. I've met a few going out. But look, they had their catalogs. But now I'm going in, and I'm going straight in into people. Everybody looks busy. So it's really important that the clip says a lot about your business positively. And then I go, right, I'm in now, and I'm going to go upstairs. Because what you're doing is you're getting into the mind of people viewing. You know, what do you do in real life? You walk into a show and you have a gander, and what you're trying to do is get into people's heads or what they want to see online. And there's your little establisher that I called. And then you're going to get into the first part, the clothing. We're going to go here. Nice little overview. Let's just move something around here like that. Right, so what have I got? I'm playing it. It's always good practice just to start playing what you have. You get an idea of the length of video you're coming to. You start refining that. I think that's nice. I think that needs to be refined a bit. That's getting there. I'll delete the other one actually because I have two of the wild goose. So that's a nice shot. That's finished. That one is probably a bit silly because it's an empty floor. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. So we're getting there. Now I'm going to now move to the point where really just want to get this sorted before we take any final questions, right? So B-roll is really important that you know this and really advantageous. We did an interview with Hannah Hatz. I'm now going to bring in the interview and I'm going to bring in the footage we took off the stand. Now, how to do that? First of all, you bring in the media. So you've got the main file, which will go on the first timeline. And that is to go in, I will select the interview there, right? I'm deleting that stuff there. So we're selecting the interview, and it's kind of hard to probably hear, but she's kicks off straight away talking about what she needs to talk about. And this is going up online, I think, soon. It's for NACTA. So that's starts here. Now, and by the way, do you see the framing? You see how it was shot? You've got Hannah Hatz in the background. It's a very nice shot. So we've got this, but we don't want to have it just on the interviewee. We want to move it around, and I told you we want to do B-rolls. Now, how do you do it? So we add in a layer, again, another layer on top. So we've got a layer this time. I'm going to go, right, we want a tip of our stand. So we've got a media. We go to showcase again, our folder. And then we will go to Hannah Hatz. You see the second one there. Okay. Now, there we go. It appears just like this underneath because it's a layer, and underneath it appears. So now we need to decide where we will have the point where it cuts away and shows some of the stand while she's talking. Now, how do we do that? So first of all, I know that we're happy with the interview piece. I know that we're going to need it at whatever it is, 40 seconds. I refine what I want. All the crap at the beginning and end is taken out, and we did our rehearsal, and we're finalized. What I do want to show you then is how do you cut away, literally cut away from the interviewee to start showing their stand when they're being interviewed. Ideally, if you're talking about, let's say, you know, if it's maybe one of the frames that you make, I think like Own Wishes or something, that you've got your frame and you're talking about how you put it together in terms of the art and the calligraphy or the OM and how long it takes and the detail that goes into it. So when you're talking about the detail, you're talking about the history of OM or the art, that is when you cut away and you really get in on where it's being created on the note and the messaging. So that's what I mean. Get it when it's relevant. Don't, you know, the interviewee's talking about Hannah Hatz, obviously. Just be careful you don't take as somebody else coming in when she's talking about we do X amount of hats. So we are looking at the layer. Now, first of all, we will grab this layer and we need to cover the screen with it. And to do that, you pull it down on the bottom left, bottom right, and you just fill the screen like that. Done, right? Now, we're not going to cover her face all the time. It's really good practice if you just want her to speak at the beginning and maybe then cut away into a tip. So we will, first of all, need to refine the raw clip that we've taken here because there will be a lot of crap in that. So first of all, we need to do our usual work. need to do our usual work here, where now straight away there's a nice sign of Hannah hats, right? So we've got maybe that part there. Let's play. Now, so this is nice. You've got a nice clip here of the Hannah Hats brand, and we want to cut that, but we don't want to throw over what's on the right. We want to just split, and now you've got a nice clip, and I do not. Yeah, so we're going to go to. Okay, so now you can see what's going to happen here. Hard to hear the voice maybe. I'll turn it up to 15. So we will press play and you'll see how this cuts away into the stand.
Hannah Hats. Hannah Hats started in 1924 with my grandfather. My father took over the business in the late 80s.
So it's a really nice touch. And then you want to go back and you want to add in another bit. So you want to maybe get another part. We'll decide now in a moment. So again, it's the same principle. You're just chopping up what you need and what you don't need. And there's a really nice part there. We'll just pick, just to show you, we're going to pick from there to there, right? And we're going to split. And now where are we? So we're progressing really well. What are we doing now? So we're going to press play again. Now we've two cutaways.
Hannah Hats started in 1924 with my grandfather. My father took over the business in the late 80s. We are third generation now of the family business, making everything in Donegal. We make over 2,000 caps a week in our premises with 27 employees.
So she said we make over 2,000 caps a week just a bit later. So I think we might move this on a tiny bit. So it's more relevant, you know. So we're kind of cutting into caps when she starts talking about caps.
We make over 2,000 caps a week in our premises with 27 employees.
So I think that's a really nice way to construct an interview. For demonstration's sake, that's what we're doing. We're going to just go with that. So you understand what I mean? There's you can put in as many little cutaways as you want. In order for you to summarize then, for you to make a video of you talking about your business and to make it interesting and edit, you will open a project. You will have the interview of you talking with a nice frame. I'm kind of talking about filming here as well, but a nice frame, looks nice. You also then need to get a shot or a few shots off your studio, your business. So a really nice, I'm talking, sorry. A really nice few wide shots and the ones that you want. The wide shot, the close shots, whatever you want. And then you will need two things. You need to, and I'll do it once more, right? You'll need two things. You need to go, right, I want to pull in my layer one, which is just your media. I saw it up there, went to media, and they go, okay, bring that in. That's the main video. And then I want to put in my B-roll, my cutaway, or my next layer. It's the same thing. And then you go, right, what do I want to do now? I want to go layer, and I want to get in all that footage of the behind the scenes, which I will put in when I'm talking on video. And I go to showcase again, and I go to the stand. Now you can see that the layer is here, and then you can cut at your heart's content. So that's how easy it is actually to really get it done, you know. There is an option then where you drag this and make it smaller. So you might have this up here, and in this case it doesn't make sense. But let's say, for example, if you're a newsreader, or if you're you think, yeah, if you're on like a, you think what's relevant. But yeah, like so you're shooting a video, and maybe if you're talking about facts about your business, and you want to talk about facts, you might want to have numbers coming up here. So what you can do is, we will touch off graphics the next day, but my point here is that graphics work the same way. You can pull this in as a layer, a graphic. It could be a picture of a few numbers, or it could be a little video clip in itself. Anything. And it might suit that it comes up beside your head. You might not want to cut away, and you might suit that it comes up here. If it does, great. Now you've resized it, and it can stay up there.
In the late 80s. We are third generation now.
That's how easy it is. And again, if you wanted to cover the whole screen, that's fine. You can hold this down, and you can cover, so you can manipulate it, and there you go. That is that. Now, so that is part one. I'd rather take plenty of questions than get into any more. Oh, actually, one more thing. Hang on. One more thing before we take questions. So we've got, how do you take a freeze frame? Very easy, as I showed you. So let's say you want to take a freeze frame of this here. So you come and you press the tick box, you move the cursor there, and then over this, you go capture and save. So capture and save, or capture and add as a clip, which means it will capture and then it will throw it into the timeline in between those clips. And it means then that you have a video, and then it goes into a picture and back to a video, you know, you're at it. Or you can capture and add as a layer. I wouldn't normally, there are 4 different functions. So capture and save is for you to go and take a picture with you and maybe do a picture post on Instagram. Capture and add as a layer might be, you know, what we did there with Hannah Hats. We had a layer up on top. So you might want to put like a layer on your video. But let's just say capture and save. So image is captured, and it's in my library on my phone. Maybe let's just go with the other one, add as a clip. See that it drops in there into the timeline? So it's now got, you play it, and then you got an image, and then it goes back to the video. So let's go again. We've got freeze frame and add as a layer, and it's going to come out under that. So that is that.
There's a few questions there now.
Yeah.
Just
go ahead now. Yeah, well, let's open it up.
Is KineMaster, is it easy to download onto your phone? How do you download it?
Yeah, it's very easy. So straight into the App Store or your Play Store on your Android, and you can download very easily. It's, so you can download it for free to do like a trial version, right? But they have that big sticker on the video.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can download and pay straight away. But yeah, it's very easy.
How long do you think a video should be?
I would say, like, for a video, you know, an overview of, let's just say an overview of Showcase here, which is just a mini video. I would say about 45 seconds that I'd be paring this down to. For you, if you're doing, it depends on the type of video, but if you're doing a video where you want to do an interview and talk about your business, You know, 45 seconds, definitely under a minute for any video. So you're looking at 45 seconds max, up to a minute, and that'll be it.
Okay. Claire O'Connor asked, she has the Adobe Creative Cloud. Is there an equivalent app available from there that she can use?
There is, in the Creative Cloud, there is a Premiere Clip, I think it's called, and that comes up on your mobile. So if you're using Creative Cloud for all of the apps that you can get, I know you can get Photoshop, Premiere Pro, you can get them all, and you can have them on your laptop. What you can get, I think, included in that is the Premiere Pro Clip, I think it's called Clip, and that will come into your mobile, yeah. So look up Premiere on your App Store.
Okay, and do you have any example of a homemade video that you think would be successful, that you think could be worth looking at from a craft perspective?
I showed you one from Eleanor Swan the last day. I don't know if that would help, and maybe everybody wasn't there. And I'll just show you, just to show you how quick it was done. I was with Eleanor doing a workshop, and we had a clip made. If this is good for yourselves to see. So we had a clip made. No, that's the wrong page. Right, so what I did was I went out to a sculptor, and we shot a video, and we got raw shots, but we quickly put it together. We dragged it in here, but we put this together within, you know, an hour together. We put this video together. So that's an example of how it is. Tell you what I'll do. This isn't the final video, but this is the raw project. Now here's how I filmed it, right? So I captured, that's not true, that is the final video, sorry. Okay, just to be clear, I'm playing the final video that I did for a craft person. But we made this in an hour. Eleanor did the working, the demonstration. It was useful to have a second camera person, to have another person filming. But again, she could have been filming and me on the other end of the camera. It was that easy. So let's just look at this and I'll commentate on it. So there's a wide shot, certain angle. All the crap was cut out before that, the getting ready. Then it goes straight into a close-up. There was a little transition, straight in again, goes again. Out, you can see how it's running from clip to clip to clip. Again, so that is the most of the video. I'm just diving into a raw export. So what I can do is the next day I'll have like the final video with me.
Okay.
But we did that very quickly, yeah.
And then once you have done your editing, how do you save the final video?
So we will go through that the next day because we'll be exporting the video. So let's hold that off.
Okay. Okay, I think that's all the questions for now, Aidan.
Okay. I know it can get deep, guys. I know it can be complex, maybe if you go too deep. You know, there's nothing else that I can comment on that. So, look, I think the best thing to do is go away, do a bit of homework by pawing around with the app. Bring in some footage that you have or shoot some footage. Bring it in. There's no excuse that you can't, you know, get a bit of practice in. And then when we talk again, that you probably will have more questions. And that's good. So we'll leave a nice bit of space for questions the next day.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea of what we're going to be shooting or going to be doing the next day is that we'll spend about half the time going from where we are with the video to exporting the video. And that includes transitions. A big thing is getting your intro and your outro and your text titles. That's a really important thing, and it's one of the reasons you're doing it in the first place. So we'll be doing that the next day. Your intro, your outro, your text titles, and then when we export it, we'll then go to Canva. And in Canva, I'm going to show you how to pull in the video, and we'll have that frame. And I'll also show you how to add subtitles by using an app as well. And we'll touch off that called Capwing. In fact, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, Tanya's just asking, are there any free apps?
There is free apps, which I do have at the end of the second part. Yeah, I have a big slide on those. There is free apps, but I think Pick, Play, Post is one. I think Premiere Shot could be free. I think, yeah, there's a few, but I do have a list at the end of the next part.
I think the next part, Aidan, is next Monday. Is that correct? Next Monday at 3 o'clock.
I don't know for sure. I think so.
I think it is next Monday, but if you keep an eye on our schedule of webinars on our website, you'll see when the time, but I think it's next Monday.
Good stuff. Yeah, great. There's a good response coming in there, which is great. I think I've been clear enough of that. So that's super. I'm delighted.
Should we download Canva?
Yes, good point. But not really a good point, because you'll be listening to me the next day on it, and you can download it after. There's no pressure. But if you want to get ahead of the game, have Canva. You can get it on desktop. You can create a free account, and then you can get an app on your mobile as well. It is very much like a desktop, app, more user-friendly, because they're dragging and dropping big text. They're doing a lot of typing and text. It's download the app anyway. But if anybody's not using Canva at the moment, it's a beautiful app. So you can do so much nice photos, you name it, on Canva. I do it a lot in my own graphics. So get familiar with that, whether you're using it for video or not.
Okay, well, thanks for that, Aidan, and thanks to everybody, and we'll see you all again. We have another webinar coming up on Friday. It's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 o'clock. Okay,
Good
thanks,
stuff.
everyone. Thanks, Aidan.
Thank you very much. See you guys. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.